wisdom is a very important aspect. Information is a very important aspect. Knowledge is a very important aspect in dairy farming. Greetings from wherever you are. I hope life is taking you good. I believe farming is becoming lucrative from your end, and if not so, hopes are there. Today we continue with the dairy farm startup, dairy farm revamping strategy for you. Today I don't want so much to address the restartup or the revamp strategy. I want to address someone who wants to start a dairy farm, because majority of you have asked this question: should I start a dairy farm within heifers and already lactating cows or calves? A very interesting debate. What will you advise someone who wants to start a dairy farm to do, to start with? But before that, whoever hasn't subscribed, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to do that. Thank you so much for subscribing. Now, if you want to start a dairy farm, what should I start with? All options are good. Either to start with a lactating cow, whether to start with a heifer, in heifers, whether to start with calves. All of them, they are good. The difference is your pocket size. If your pocket is so squeezed and you're working on a limited budget, cash flow should be the next biggest worry when you start. So in this particular case, I'll highly advise you to start with a 7-month pregnant heifer, in that you have a lot of information, and we'll do a video for you on how to manage dry cows. In this one, you manage them very well for 2 months, in that when these calve down, you'll have milk sales, you'll have a decent cash flow. Contrary to that, there's someone who will say, I have access to finances, but it's from my salary. I can spare maybe 20 or 30,000 for these cows. Maybe that's someone who doesn't have that patience, and maybe says in another 1 year or 2 years I'll have access to more finances. So this is someone you can advise maybe to start with calves, rear them very well, because there is a consistent supply of money. Or maybe someone who is worried, doesn't want to spend a lot of money buying an in-calf heifer, or maybe want a big hard size but want to start from the calves. But when you start with the calves, you forego the opportunity of getting money back. You postpone it. You wouldn't have any cash flow until those calves gives birth. But for this particular case, you must be prepared financially. Secondly, you must be ready to shelf that idea of cash flow, an instant cash flow. Thirdly, you must have the tips on how to manage those calves and heifers, because that one is a catch-22 for most people: calf rearing and heifer management. If you get it wrong, this is why you're expecting to get milk sales in 2 years, then you prolong that on to 3 years to 4 years. So that one messes you up. Others will ask, I want to start with an already lactating cow. If you start with a lactating cow, you must have good records of that animal, not in terms of milk production, but the number of calvings. Maybe I've seen this scenario whereby people go to these already established dairy farm, and maybe they are culling their cows, and they say, oh, because this farm has a good name, let me just get their calves, I come and inseminate, I'll get their genetics very fast. In this particular case, if you buy an already lactating cow, the current feeding regime should be more or less the same as your expected feeding regime. If there will be a change, let it be a gradual change, not instant. Because the moment you get that instant change, you lose milk. before that cow adapts. And I remember you said milk production is a race against time. It's 3 or 5 days. So if you bring interference, you affect the 3 or 5 days. If you have to get in calf heifers, you should also not, if you are to get lactating cow, you should know why that particular farmer is selling. Maybe it could be a friend, maybe it could be a farm well known to you. The integrity is okay, you have no problem. Maybe that one you can give it a shot. But if it's not a well known farm to you, you should know the reason of them selling. Maybe they are selling it because maybe they are those high producing cows. It has been in that farm for maybe 2 years, has never given birth, has never conceived, but it's still doing 23 liters, maybe 25 liters. So this person will comfortably tell you it's doing 25 liters, it calved 3 weeks ago. So that person will have messed you a big time, because they are offloading a very good milk producer but with a fertility problem. Maybe they are selling because of other factors. You should be very key to know why they are selling a lactating cow. So there's so many ways you can start a dairy farm, the animal you start with, but the bottom line is to know the cow I'm starting with, does it resonate with my business model? Does it resonate well with my finances? Does it resonate well with my plans? If it doesn't, you rather push that idea of owning a farm for a couple of months, if not a couple of years. There's no hurry in doing it until you're very sure whatever you're doing it is able to deliver for you. Another question people ask is, should I start with the bulls? If you want to be a dairy farmer, you can never start your dairy journey. Ama wengine anasema mimi nataka kuweka utu to bulls nijifunze. You can never learn from bulls. Yes, maybe calf rearing tips you can learn from bulls, but you can never learn dairy farming using bulls. If you have to learn with heifers. And I don't think you will get exceptional cases. Yes, you can make money by maybe unajifunza how to keep cows using the bulls. Maybe in your locality they fetch good prices, maybe that one, but I wouldn't advise you to do that. I wouldn't even advise you either to keep bulls in your dairy farm at all, unless maybe therapeutic nature, the therapeutic reasons, etc. That one may be, but from a business perspective, I don't think that one will be a wise idea. So when starting a dairy farm, always ask yourself, where do I want to start, and what is my immediate problem, or what is my immediate need that I want these cows to address. If it's instant money, I'll rather you start with in-calf heifers. If you have a lot of time, you can start with 7-day-old calves. You rear them slowly by slowly, but be prepared to wait for 2 solid years for you to get back, not to get back your money, but to get decent cash flows. Dairy farming is profitable, dairy farming is lucrative, but it depends on how you plan. Until next time, see you, bye bye, and remember to subscribe.